This man died in a car accident and was reborn as a dog, but he couldn't let go of his wife and son. So he traveled across mountains and rivers to reach the small town where he once lived. He sat at the school gate waiting for his son to get out of school just like he used to, but he looked left and right and still couldn't see his son anywhere. Just as the dog was disappointed and about to leave, his wife and son finally appeared in his sight. He got excited and sprinted over. He jumped up on his wife's car window, but he couldn't speak and could only keep barking. His wife was terrified by this sudden appearance of the dog and quickly rolled up the window and drove away. He chased desperately behind them all the way to his former home. Looking at all these familiar surroundings, the dog was extremely excited. He scratched anxiously at the door, wanting his wife to let him in. But his wife thought he was a mad dog and paid no attention to him. With no other option, he could only watch his wife and son inside through the window. The son noticed this and thought the dog must be hungry, so he begged his mom to let the dog come in for some food. The mother looked at its pitiful appearance and finally softened her heart and let it in. He happily pounced on his son and kept licking his son's cheeks. Then the mother and son prepared abundant food for the dog. Watching the dog eating quietly beside them, the mother and son thought it was very well behaved, so they decided to adopt it. Although his wife and son couldn't recognize him, he was willing to silently guard them. At night, the dog had trouble sleeping. He came to the living room and looked at his own photo, feeling somewhat guilty because he hadn't fulfilled his responsibilities as a husband and father. He went to his son's room, and after tucking his son in, he quietly accompanied him. Then he went to his wife's room, and only by lying beside his wife's bed could he fall asleep peacefully. Every time the mother and son went out, he would silently guard the door, waiting for them to return. Every weekend, the dog would accompany his son, playing happily in the yard. Sometimes he would deliberately hide his son's toys under the table. Seeing the dog's behavior, the son suddenly felt a bit dazed because his father used to do this often when he was alive, but he never imagined this was actually his father. And whenever his wife missed her husband, the dog would put on his clothes from when he was alive. Although it looked ridiculous, it could make his wife smile. When his wife was sad, he would quietly lean against his wife's legs and share her worries with her. Although in his wife's eyes, he was just a dog, being able to accompany his wife and son by their side made him very content. He had never been so happy. However, until this day, the appearance of a man shattered this happiness. The man was his wife's new boyfriend and also his best friend and business partner from when he was alive. In his blurry memory, that car accident back then seemed to be directly related to this man.